excited.
Beautiful.
Girl, look at you.
Gotta work it, honey.
I'm excited. I'm
Let
ready
me
to
tell
eat.
you. When we talk about the Proverbs 31 woman, you guys are some good-looking ladies. And
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, so today what I decided that we should do is have some fruit for our monthly brunch, and then we'll kind of go from there. Yeah. Thank you.
Just like some fruit.
Well, we're gonna start with fruit. We'll see what we end up with, but it should be fun.
All right, okay, that's good.
Let's get to the good stuff after.
Yes. So you guys sit wherever you want.
Thank you.
My home is your home.
Thank you. Thank you. Love it. Because I'll go on the other side of this beautiful lady.
Yeah, oh my goodness.
So nice.
It has been an amazing week.
Yes, it has.
It's been busy, but productive. I'm so glad we are together again. I missed you guys.
I missed you too.
Oh my gosh, it's been a week too long, I tell you. I love when we get together. We talk about everything that we've been doing, and I'm so happy you guys could make brunch today. I gotta tell you, I brought my notebook out because service has been incredible. You know, we've been talking about the value of a woman on purpose, and it's been really deep for me. But I'm curious to know for you guys, how has everything been for you? Because all of our stories matter, right?
Yes.
So if I were to ask you guys anything as we're munching today, I would want to know, like, what was it like for you when you weren't walking in your purpose?
Yeah. Well, Tonya, for me, as a citizen of the kingdom, I know I was sent here with a gifting and a mandate that must be fulfilled. So when I am walking out of purpose, it seems like a betrayal, not just to me, but also to the kingdom.
Wow.
So, I mean, in retrospect, I made some decisions, not consulting and seeking wisdom from God, that just proved wrong. It just felt abnormal and unnatural. So I know that I was out of His will and not walking my purpose. That's how I felt, when I wasn't walking in purpose. What do you think, Tonya?
You know, I can totally relate. For me, I guess, when I think about when I was not walking in my true value of who I am and my purpose, I was unhappy. I was an emotional roller coaster. And when I say that, it's because I will always compare myself to other women in my circle, because I just really thought I was going to be this corporate person, this big executive, living in a penthouse, having designer clothes, purses. And so I would always ask these ladies, like, what are you doing? How are you getting these promotions? And you getting this increase on your job? And I was like, why is that not happening to me? It's like every job I had, it was like I was getting laid off. And I'm like, well, how am I going to fulfill being an executive if I can't keep a job?
Yeah.
So I would go to God and I would be so upset, because I'm like, God, are you serious? Why am I not able to be promoted or get the money that I deserve? And finally, I heard the Lord tell me one day, He said, you know what? You are not a duplicate. You are an original.
Come on,
masterpiece.
Yeah.
He told me I
Yes.
was an original masterpiece.
Yes.
So if you are an original masterpiece, then you need to stop trying to be like everyone else.
Yes.
Your voice goes beyond corporate America, the person that I thought I was supposed to be, this voice of corporate America.
Yeah.
And when God said that, I was like, wow. But God, I want to be an executive. So I was an emotional roller coaster.
Man.
Wow.
Listen, Tonya, that is phenomenal. That is so good, because what it takes me back to is the fact that all of our stories, our past, they all matter.
Yeah.
And they're all necessary.
Yes.
And had you not taken the path that you took, think of how many lives would not have been impacted. And I think back often about, for me, what a defining moment was for me when I was just growing up. I gotta tell you guys, I had a series of situations happen when I was 3 years old, and I was 7 years old, and then when I was 12 years old, and every time those incidents occurred, there was a little bit of me that was just cut
Yeah.
away,
Yeah.
cut away. And I believed I was broken. So even at 12 years old, I started to behave like I was broken. Until one day, this is crazy. I know it'll sound kind of, like an out-of-body experience, but I was 15 years old. I remember I was in my messy bedroom, and we used to study with a completely different faith, but it still felt disconnected. And I remember being 15 and saying, okay, God, whoever you really are, please just show me who you are, because I needed peace and I didn't have it. And for me, it was such a defining moment. Just a few days later, I was on my porch on the east side of Detroit with my friends, and there was what I thought was a block club party, and it turned out the little bingo hall across the street. I heard music, we saw balloons, and they had food, and it was the summertime, so summertime in Detroit, balloons, music, food. Okay, you go over there.
There you go.
Yeah.
And I heard a testimony. It ended up being an outdoor kind of a youth event for the neighborhood, but it was a church that was sponsoring it, and because it was a bingo hall, it didn't look like a church. And I heard a testimony of a man that changed my life, and that's when I knew that same God I had prayed to must have been real, because he actually answered my prayer, and my life was never ever the same. So to this day, think about how we often believe we're broken.
Yeah.
So we behave like we're broken.
Yeah.
And I was going down a trajectory at 15 years old in Detroit that would have really changed my life had the Lord not intervened. And for me, that's really why to this day, I spend time with young ladies. I spend time building a nonprofit that I started. I spend time working with young people, because I never want them to think that they're alone. I never want women to think that they're alone, because our stories are necessary.
Yes.
What about you, Lillian?
Yes.
I, being in the younger generation of this day, it makes it different, because you have to kind of, I feel like I have to compare myself to what's going on. But like you said, and I love the way you said it, is that we all have our own story, and everyone is different. And it doesn't mean that anybody should feel less or feel more because it's their story.
Yes.
I was sexually assaulted at the age of 14 at my high school. And 14 years old, that's a very innocent age,
Yeah.
So it's always kind of given me this almost broken feeling, or almost I got something taken away from me that I was supposed to do, or I would have felt differently about something, or done this or that. And I started going. I've been going to church my whole life, and I think that was when I started seeing the people help me through that, and when my family came, and when I was able to talk about it, and when I was able to go to a new school and move on, and it was that. I think that was that, and I think of it as Genesis, when he began the world. The start, when everything's fresh and everything's new.
Yeah.
And I've just craved that, And as I've grown up, I've becoming, I'm coming into it.
Yeah.
So it's the beginning.
Yeah.
That's what I
Oh,
Amazing.
that is a
Beautiful.
word. Oh,
Beautiful.
Lillian, I love that.
Yeah.
You know what? I think all of us have somebody in our lives, right, that really had an impact in some kind of way. And I'm curious to know, hearing your story, Lillian, my God, that is amazing. And Tonya, Monique, you guys, who would you say played a key role if you had a defining moment in your life that led you to your purpose? Who played a key role for you guys?
As for me, most people, it takes them a lifetime to meet the hero or someone who pushed them in the direction.
Yeah.
Fortunately for me, I was born with my hero, and I was born from my hero and someone who pushed me in the path, and that's my mother, Stella Major.
Yeah.
She is an amazing woman, and then I was surrounded by a village, my siblings, my father. So those were the persons who saw in me what I did not see, and helped me to refine it and be the woman of purpose that I am today.
Oh, Monique, I'm so with you on that. Let me tell you, Same here. My mom did the exact same thing, and the amazing thing about it, like we were talking about earlier, your story being necessary.
Yes.
She doesn't even realize probably to this day the impact that she has had, because there is a world where she would like to paint a little bit of perfection, but it was the imperfection of our lives that built who I am as a strong woman. She was a single mom. She had to find her own way. She had to fight for everything we've got growing up. She had to fight for it because there was not a safety net for us at all. I mean, and I'm talking food stamps to that government cheese that used to make the good grilled cheese sandwiches. From a woman who had a college degree, but she had to fight her way back, and I watched her at 9 years old fight her way back. And because she fought when I was 9, I can fight now in my 40s. And I could fight when I was 3, and I could fight when I was 7. Similar situations happened with me, Lillian, when I was 3, 7, 12, and I thought I was lost, but I thought back to my anchor, and that was my mom. Isn't it amazing how we are as women, and we don't realize the fruit that we're producing? What about you guys?
Well, I have to say my mother as well, but I've had some very significant women in my life, whether it be my mother's friends, my teachers, people at church, and my church family's always been something very important to me, and because people have compassion. That's the word I came in here thinking today was compassion. That's such something that's important to me, because you have to have that. And if you don't, you can't really understand people very well. But my mother has always been compassionate. My dad died when I was 18 months old, and she was a single mother until I was 7, and I saw her work full time, and always in a suit and always on the go, but I think she she taught me that, and to respect others, and to love church and love God and love yourself. And she's never gone away. She's never let me down. She's never said no more, which she could have. I've given her plenty of reason to. But she has not, and we have a fantastic, strong relationship now, and it's very nice. What about you?
That's beautiful. Well, for me, I can really say there's been several people that's really contributed to me being a woman of value and purpose, but I'm really going to give credit to an old college friend. Her and her husband actually helped us start Greater Works, our previous church. And I remember this person coming to me telling me that, Tonya, you have the mantle on you to take on the women's ministry. And when she said that, I was like, oh no ma'am, I do not. And she said, yes you do. She kind of pushed me towards that way, and she basically just explained to me that you have a voice, and the women will follow you. And if you don't do it, who's going to do it? And so I said, and I didn't want to do it, but I went home and I continued to pray, and as my heart softened, God began to just download into me so much that He wanted me to share. He showed me that there are women that need a smile. There are women that need to know that there's joy, that need to be empowered. They need to know they are fearfully and wonderfully made. And then it reminded me, okay, I do have a voice beyond corporate America. I have a voice beyond just being a mother. I have a voice that's beyond just being a wife. I have a voice of deliverance. I have a voice of power. I have a voice to bring joy to these women's faces. And so I said, okay, God, I got it. But then there's still self that always was like, what about my executive role? I still have this desire. And He always brings me back to Jeremiah 29:11 that says, for I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord.
Amen.
Plans not to harm you, but plans to give you a hope in the future. And so that keeps me grounded, that keeps me in my purpose, that gives me my value. And I began to realize, okay, my voice okay, I may not be an executive for corporate America, but I'm an executive for the kingdom of God.
Amen.
Okay,
And that's even better,
and
right?
that's
even better.
And then I realized, okay, I wanted a penthouse. Well, my house is on a hill, so I okay, I do have a little bit of designer clothes, and I do have some designer purses.
Yes.
So I said, you know what, God, you are so good,
He's
and He has
awesome.
been so good to me.
Yes.
And for that helps me stay grounded. And everything that I wanted from corporate America, He has given me a kingdom to do it for Him.
Amen.
I just want to
Yeah.
Can I just shout right there? That makes me think about everything we were talking about. Yeah, let's do that. That's so awesome.
Yes.
I love this conversation because it takes us back to really the anchor of the word that we've been hearing the past month. About every single woman in the Bible that's been featured, right? So I was taking copious notes while we were streaming online, and so I have a list of the ladies in the Bible, and I'm curious to know, which do you all most relate to? So I'm going to read each woman in the Bible that we've been focusing on, and you share with me. I'm just curious to know from you guys. We've got Abigail, right? She was compassionate. Abigail was resourceful. She was responsive. We've got the Shunamite woman. She was hospitable. She was intentional and selfless. Then we've got Jehoshaphat. She was fearless and wise and determined. And some people actually call her Jehoshaphat. So either way it works. But all I know is she's in the Bible. She's amazing. Right? And then we've got the woman with the issue of blood. She was determined and she persevered to get to really what her source was. Out of all of those 4 women, is there one that relates most to you? I'm curious to know which that woman is for each of you guys.
For me, it would be the Shunamite woman. For her selflessness, and she was hospitable. So I think the Shunamite, I identify more with her.
I agree with that. You are that way.
You are. I think Jehoshaphat being fearless and wise, and when having things happen at a young age, and you can grow from that. And she's, fearless, wise, determined. It's important.
Yeah.
What about you?
That's good. I would say for me, Abigail. I would say Abigail for her wisdom.
Yeah.
I think I would agree with that too, Abigail. I really do relate to Abigail as well. Well, all I know, you guys, is I love spending time with you all. If we could keep doing this once a month, our girl time, I know I need it with the children and everything going on at home. This is helpful for me. And I have some sparkling cider that we can add to this apple juice to give it a little zing. You guys want some? I'll refill our picture with it.
It's the whipped cream for the strawberries.
Yeah. And can we toast to greatness? Let's toast to what it means to be a valuable woman on purpose. Cheers. Awesome. Oh my gosh. Okay, ladies, I'll be right back so we can continue our conversation. You guys are amazing. Thank you for being exactly who you are. I tell you, what a day. Well, one thing I know for sure, and it's important for each of us to understand this. Jeremiah 1:5 says, before I knew you, before you were formed in your mother's womb, I knew you. And you were appointed a prophet to the nations. And one thing that we know for sure, and throughout all this month, we've noticed every single person that's been mentioned biblically has had a purpose, even when they didn't realize they did. That's what you saw just a few moments ago. There's purpose in our stories. So even when you don't believe that there's value in you. We've had women in the Bible that we talked about this month that literally were only mentioned one time. And even in the one mention, had they not existed, the lineage of Jesus Christ for some of them would not have been birthed. And that's what you've got to know. There's every single precipice in your world has value, whether you're male or female. It doesn't matter. Know that your value is imminent. God bless you. All right, ladies. Oh, looks like I'm out of cider, so we're just gonna go with this juice.